নমস্কার, নিউজ 18 বাংলায় আপনাদের স্বাগত। আপনাদের সাথে রয়েছি আমি প্রিয়াঙ্কা। 7ই অক্টোবরের সকাল ইসরায়েলের ঘুম ভাঙে ক্ষেপণাস্ত্রের আঘাতে। শুধুমাত্র 20 মিনিটে 5,000 রকেট হামলা, পাল্টা হামলা। রাশিয়া ইউক্রেন যুদ্ধের রেশ কাটতে না কাটতেই ফের একবার যুদ্ধ, যে যুদ্ধের সাক্ষী থাকছে বিশ্ব। ফের শুধুই ধ্বংসস্তূপের ছবি, ফের শুধুই বাতাসে ধুলো আর বারুদের গন্ধ, আর স্বজন হারাদের আর্তনাদ। কেমন আছে ইসরায়েল এই মুহূর্তে, ঠিক কি পরিস্থিতি ইসরায়েলের জানবো। আমাদের সঙ্গে আমরা এই মুহূর্তে পেয়ে গেছি তেল আভিভ থেকে ইসরায়েলি আর্মি মেজর আলুন হাইকা। স্যার, হার্টি ওয়ার্ম ওয়েলকাম in News 18 Bangla. So at first we would like to know from you directly that day 4 of Israel-Palestine conflict, and what is the present scenario of Israel right now, and what is going on there, what is happening there.
So the quick update is that since Saturday morning, Israel was under a surprise attack from the Hamas militant from Gaza. Now, for the Indian viewers, it's a little bit difficult to understand that Israel is a very small place. Okay, you always think we are like an empire because our military strengths, but we have a very small place. And we're surrounded by enemies. In the south, we have Hamas. In the east, which is back behind my back here, like 2 miles away only, we have the Palestinian Authority. And in the north, we have Lebanon and Syria, backed by Iran. So in general, you have to think it's a very small place, something like Bangalore area, I would say, Bangalore city, with a little bit of distance away, of no more than 1 hour from one distance to another. That's Israel. It's a very small place with surrounded by Islamic militant. So on Saturday morning, we were suddenly attacked by at least 2,000 militant soldiers, Islamic soldiers, in the morning of Saturday, very early, and they managed to capture some settlement of Israel close to Gaza Strip in the south. And this was also caused a lot of chaos in the security area. And unfortunately, we have lost about 1,000 people. So stage one was a surprise attack, brutal attack against mostly civilians. 90% of the casualties, which record 1,000 now, are civilian, children, women, and even old people. They were butchered by this militant. So stage one was attack. We're in stage two, where we managed to kill all these terrorists. More than 1,500 are dead, and the border is restored. This is stage two, which is going to be, I will say, finished probably tonight or tomorrow. And then we will enter stage three, where we are going to retaliate on Gaza and eliminate the Hamas militant to the end. And that's clear for every Israeli here. And I think also the Palestinians, they know this story. So in a way, their success, so-called, on Saturday was too good for them. And there will be a bitter payment very soon.
Well. Sir, I would like to know that why the sudden attack? What has caused violence to flare up again?
I think you have to look at the macro level in order to understand that. So who are the forces here? So Hamas is linked to Iran. And Iran was looking at the peace process between Israel and Saudi Arabia, which is the biggest rival of Iran. And I think they didn't like it with the US in the middle. So they look at this gigantic change in the Middle East, where Israel already have peace process and peace agreement with the Gulf, the Dubai and Emirates and Bahrain, and now the Saudi came into agreement with us. This was too much for Iran. And Iran using its proxies. It has 3 major proxies in our area: the Hamas, the Hezbollah in Lebanon, and of course Iranian militant in Syria. So we are surrounded by Iranian proxies that were waiting for the moment, to kill the process of peace with Saudi Arabia.
Well. So, a shocking video that unnerved the world. A woman paraded naked by militants. Heartbreaking video. And Gaza completely seized. How citizen is being tortured or captivated in Israel.
This is again unbelievable scenes, and for us Israelis, it's really bring back the Holocaust memories. 8 years ago we were butchered by the Nazis in Europe, and now we are butchered by this Islamic militant. And this shocking views will not go without a total payment and total elimination of the Hamas, any militant in the Gaza Strip, and I foresee a very bad future for this entity. It will be eliminated because it was doing crimes against humanity. And yes, Israel was caught for one bad day, and we acknowledge that. There are reasons for that we can discuss, but this is not a reason to behave like a butcher, and they will pay for that.
Yeah. Sir, the attack revealed the vulnerabilities in the state-of-the-art defense system. Israel's popular Iron Dome defense system found itself overwhelmed by a barrage of rockets. And here lies the question, how and why it compromised? How did Israel fail to stop a major attack from Gaza?
Actually, you see that the Iron Dome is really protecting us, and it didn't
Yeah.
fail. What failed is not the Iron Dome. What failed is the border security. So we were so focused on technology and Iron Domes, we forgot the simple things that you need in the border, and its reserves units and soldier to protect the unit. And this takes us to a little bit of criticism that we have here in Israel on the government, because the government in the last year was focused on changing democracy rather than preparing the army for this retaliation. So we have a lot of criticism on the right wing government, which is now rethinking its way and probably going to open its gates to center and left parties to enter and help in the situation. But you are right. This is not. This was a bad surprise to Israel, not on the Iron Dome, which is still working, and we are protected by the Iron Dome from the rocket. But we were not protected by Iron Dome on the simple, border things. You have 2,000 people running to the fences, crossing them, and killing people that were in settlement attached to the border.
But sir, the Israel's popular Iron Dome defense system found itself overwhelmed by a barrage of rockets. How the rockets entered?
No, actually, rocket is it's not 100% protection. We were already 4,000 to 5,000 rockets were shot on Israel. 95% of them didn't cause any damage because of Iron Dome. An Iron Dome is not a 100% system. It's 90 plus system. It's good enough. The problem was never the Iron Dome. The problem was the attack, physical attack of militant in the borders, and the border were not well protected. Again, because of a big mistakes of army, but also the government that was focusing in the West Bank, which is, as mentioned, behind my back here, just 2 miles from here is the West Bank, and most of the army reserves were in that area, and that was a very painful mistake.
Well. Sir, how Israel is drafting in reserve army in war against Hamas? What's its role?
Okay, a great. Now Israel is recovering from this, and we are very, very used to this recoveries. We've done it many times in our past, and this is why we're winning. It took us only 6 hours to call 300,000 reserves that came from home and become soldiers. So already 300,000 new reserve soldiers are in the borders, ready for entering Gaza and protecting the north area from Hezbollah and from Iranian in Syria. So you can compare that for how long it took the Russian, for example, to militarize 300,000 people, maybe weeks. We done it in 6 hours. This is the powerful part of Israel. We are recovering from very, very painful mistakes, but we'll recover very, very fast. And it will be very painful for the enemies eventually. And this has already happened. If you look at Gaza Strip now, it's already looks like hell.
Well. Sir, though this is a very painful question, but still, I would like to know that this is the day 4 of conflict, Israel-Palestine conflict. So, the casualties, how many casualties is there?
From the Israeli side, we are crossing the 1,000 casualties in the last few days, most of them in the first very first hours, and most of them, unfortunately, are civilians. In the Palestinian side, I think we are in the 2,500 casualties now. If I need to gamble on the next 2-3 months, it will end up with 30,000-40,000 Palestinian casualties, and probably another 1,000 to the Israeli side. Most of them will be soldiers, because now we are protected by Iron Dome. So it's going to be a very painful for the Palestinians, and there will be no more Palestinian Hamas state in Gaza. And hopefully this vacuum of non in Gaza will be filled by more pragmatic, non-Islamic parties like the PLO or the Palestinian Authority, that are more pragmatic in their way they see the solution for between Israelis and Palestinians here.
Well. So, my last question: Israel declares war and approves significant steps to retaliate for surprise attack by Hamas. How will the war end? How peace will be re-established?
So first, I hope that you can hear the noise in my back. I'm about 70 kilometers from Gaza. You can hear the sounds of the bombs that the Israeli Air Force are now. It's a 1-ton bombs that are falling on in Hamas location behind us, and you can really hear that. And so you ask about the peace. Peace will come only after the war, and the war will be to eliminate all the Hamas authorities and military forces in Gaza. Then more, let's say, peaceful regime of non-Islamic parties of the Palestinian can take control of that space. So I think it's going to be 2 to 3 long and difficult months, especially for the Palestinians. But Israel also need the time to recover from such a event that we had this Saturday, unfortunately.
Well, sir, we are praying for the peace. We are praying that the war must end as early as possible. And thank you so much for updating us. Thank you so much. আমরাও চাই যুদ্ধ শেষ হোক এবং শান্তি ফিরুক। আপাতত আজকের মতন এই পর্যন্তই। বাকি সমস্ত খবরের আপডেটের জন্য নজর রাখুন নিউজ 18 বাংলার পেজে।
Thank you as well.
Well, thank you, sir.
No problem.